From the cricket letter to the critically acclaimed, David Banner stands out not only as a rapper, but as a man who cares for his people. He holds nothing back as he tells it all on You've Been Framed, exclusively on Rolling Out TV.
Alright, what's up? It's your boy David Banner. Behind the scenes on the photo shoot, about to go up to the rooftop. Usually me, I'm doing other things on the rooftop, man, but today, actually we still use cameras, but for other entertainment purposes, if you know what I mean, man.
Rapper, producer, actor, activist. David Banner is not your average entertainer. Rolling Out magazine did a photo shoot with the Mississippi native, and we talked about how the world turns in the eyes of David Banner. So enjoy the stylish looks as we style your mind, right here on Rolling Out TV.
I got sick, I got real sick, and doctor said I had my blood pressure was like 191 over 140. So like I was literally dying. So he was like, man, y'all come on, man. He was like, you gotta lose some weight or you gonna die. You know, I was like a couple points from diabetes, had sleep apnea, like all kind of craziness, and I just made a decision that day, dude, that me living was more important than, you know, eating the way that I wanted to eat and doing a lot of stuff that I was doing. So I just totally changed my life. I went and got a trainer. My publicist area hooked me up with this trainer named Scott Parker. He runs True Results without an E. And we just hooked up, and he happened out, you know, I do movies, so I'm in LA most of the time now. So, you know, I just changed the way I eat. It was crazy because I know me, I'm from the South, I'm from Mississippi, so, you know, I love to eat, man. I wouldn't necessarily say good stuff, man, but I definitely like to eat.
Feels good to you.
Yeah, you know, so I went to the crib, man, threw away like $300-400 worth of food, because I knew if it was in there, I was gonna eat it. So like we just fill my house up with all healthy stuff, so even if I do cheat or I ain't eating right, it's at least something that's good for you, you know what I'm saying? My only temptation is like cakes. Cause my mother baked cakes and pies and all that kind of shit, man. Like that's really like my weakness, the chocolate and stuff like that. Like I had really, you know, stopped eating McDonald's and all that kind of stuff anyway. You know what I'm saying? So that really wasn't a problem. And what a lot of people don't know is I wasn't eating pork and red meat anyway. You know what I'm saying? I stopped eating pork when I was in 11th grade. You know what I'm saying? I actually got my family to stop eating pork, and we live in Mississippi.
I was about to say, in Mississippi.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, you know, just something that you had to do. It was like a choice. You're going to either live or die. One thing that I say about movies is that it's a lot more business orientated. You know, one thing that I thank God for is like the fact that I was a businessman before I became a rapper. So it didn't show today, but like, you know, I'm usually never late. You know what I'm saying? I'm usually always on time. I'm usually, you know, serious and prepared about whatever I'm doing, whether it's knowing my lines, whether it's being on set. Like a lot of rappers take for granted, and a lot of rappers are really self-centered and they think it's about them. But when you're on a movie set, it ain't about you. You know what I'm saying? It's a you know, $20-30 million project, and every minute that you later, every minute that you don't know your lines, that's like, you know, $6,000-7,000 every time somebody yell action. You know what I'm saying? And with me, I know that it's bigger than me. And I know that they're going to judge other black actors or other black or anybody who come from the rap side of the game based on what I do. So, you know, I would do something like if I went out that night, sometimes I go sleep on set just to make sure that I'm not going to be late, so I can leave that opportunity open for the next rapper or the next person that's young and black that's coming up, so they won't judge us. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, me being from Mississippi, dude, one thing that people got to understand is we've always had to adapt. You know what I mean? You even look at musically, people don't understand, like, dude, really, people didn't really play our music on the radio, dude, until about like 4 years ago. So you gotta think about when we growing up, even in the MTV age, back in the day, we had to listen to Culture Club or the Police or Aha, because that's all they would play on MTV. You know, then after that, New York started popping. So we had to know about LL Cool J and Tribe Called Quest and Run DMC because we didn't have a choice. You know, then after that, the West Coast started popping. So we had to know about, you know, Snoop and Dre and, you know, and then when the South started popping, then of course we knew we were blessed in the Mid-South because of the independent game. So like we always been adjusting. All our life, dude, we always had to adjust. And being black, you know, in America, you gotta adjust anyway. You know, you gotta be one person at home and one person at work. You know, somebody different when the cops pull you over. You know what I'm saying? It's just, this is a part of, adapting has always been a part of a black man's life. What you gotta understand, man, it's all chess. You know what I'm saying? And it's all about obtaining your goals. Like, what's your goal is? My goal ain't necessary to be me. My goal is to provide for my family. You know, I got two things in business. My two rules in business is I'm gonna do whatever it takes for me to make it, as long as it doesn't compromise my manhood or my spirituality. You know, if I gotta work hard, if I gotta, you know, like even right now, I'm acting, but I'm still out there on the road. You know, a lot of rappers after their first album, they ain't on the road no more. I'm still out there signing autographs. I'm still out here fighting for my people. You know what I'm saying? Going to Congress, you know, collecting money for children who are not, you know, in the same situations that I'm in, because that's how I was built. Right. You know, so for me, you know, and Samuel L. Jackson said this about me, and I thanked him so much. He said, David Banner, I'm not ever worried about you. He said, because you came from the bottom. So you know how to make it back. If you fall, you know how to get back out there and do it again. You came from the bottom. Then nobody put me on. I started selling CDs out on the corner is how I got on. You know, a lot of people say they the man, but most people are men through another man. They the man standing behind a man, or it's a man behind them that's making them. You know, it ain't the only man that's making me, is God. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I can pack up, and excuse my French, I can say fuck anybody in the game and not have to bite my tongue. I don't give a shit. White, black, whoever. You know, if it mean I gotta go back, it may be harder for me to live, but I can say it and still be a man. You know what I'm saying? Fuck you. Oh, I'm sorry. I think what you have to understand is that you represent more than one group of people. But what I don't like is that our people are usually the only ones who compromise. Like, white people can be who they want to be all the time, because we have to adjust to them. But this is something that people have to understand that we never think about. When Americans are going to overseas to trade with Japanese people, you know, Japanese people don't get into suits, you know what I'm saying, ties. They wear whatever their traditional garb is. They're not going to change, you know. People in Arabic countries are not going to change, you know, how they are, you know, when they meet Americans. The only reason why we have to change as African Americans and put on suits and ties and cut our dreads off or comb our hair or whatever we have to do is because we don't have power. Right. And we don't have nothing to bargain with. You know, if black people told white people that we don't want them in our stores and in our clubs, you think they care? They don't come to our clubs and shop in our stores anyway, or support our products. So, you know, it's to a point now where, you know, in order for us to ever be able to implement, you know, our culture, you know, in our community, or teach our kids about their history and be able to allow them to maintain it, is to establish our own power structure. You know, I think education is always key. Right. And then then the next step of that is really teaching kids how to benefit off of that education. Because I think what it is with kids is not so much that kids don't want to learn, But kids are smarter than we ever were. Like, kids see people in the hood who went to college and they back to selling dope. You know what I'm saying?